Welcome back, everybody, to episode 30 of the Wash Up Sports Podcast. We are your Wash Up Sports hosts.
Zach Elliott,
Louis Ortiz,
and I'm Bobby Hanscom. Today is Friday, August 9th, as we're recording, so here's what we'll be talking about on today's episode.
Football is back. Last night, 2 preseason games. Thursday night, our New England Patriots and Pat's New York Giants. I'm filling in for Pat, obviously. Started preseason and both earned some interesting but not surprising low-scoring W's. So in honor of football being back, we're going to continue breaking down each NFL division leading up to the NFL season, which starts next month on September 5th. We discussed the AFC West on last episode. Today we're going to get into the AFC North.
Obviously, we're going to recap week 2 of the Paris Olympics as now we're kind of getting set towards the final weekend.
Mm-hmm. And then we'll go over just a couple of headlines and random news in the sports world over this week.
And we'll finish the episode with washed up wagers. We'll go over our picks from last episode and give you guys 3 new picks for this upcoming weekend.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys. So, like I said, NFL preseason officially underway. We're inching closer to the season. Exciting times.
I can't really see it, but I'm wearing.
He's got the Patriots shirt on.
Right here.
Hall of Fame game actually kicked off preseason last Thursday night. It was between the Chicago Bears and the Houston Texans. The game was actually canceled in the third quarter because there was a huge thunderstorm in Canton, Ohio. So the Bears ended up winning 21-17, and I believe they refunded all bets because the game didn't finish. They just voided everything.
Really?
I think
awesome.
So. But
it's noble of them.
Yeah,
very noble of them.
I know. As I mentioned a few seconds ago, the New England Patriots picked up a 17-3 win over the Carolina Panthers last night in their first preseason game, and I would be remiss not to mention that Pat's New York Giants also won in their preseason opener over the Detroit Lions 14-3. So good night for us. Let's hope those wins continue into the regular season. Some exciting little spark for the Patriots. 4th string rookie quarterback Joe Milton III out of Tennessee.
Dude, he's
tossed.
A baller.
Yeah. He is a baller, bro.
Man. Did you see the one where he was in the backfield scrambling around for 10 minutes?
I need that this season. I just need something exciting. But he had a touchdown pass, 38 yards, I believe, and as Bill mentioned, he had a nice scramble play where he picked up a first down.
Also, Drake May only playing 1 series.
Yeah, I was just going to mention him and Brissett. Literally got Brissett got 3 and out, and then May picked up a first down and then didn't come back in. So
I could see why they would do it with Brissett because I feel like they always do it. They're main number ones, but Drake May, a lot of people wanted to see him, and now they are no longer going to be able to.
Yeah. Well, regardless, great to have football back. Definitely a refreshing thing to watch on TV. It seems like it's been a long off season for sure. Literally eons.
Yeah.
But now, since it's back, we have an excuse to kind of start talking more about it. Over the next few weeks leading up to the NFL season, we're going to spend some time previewing every division on every episode, one division every episode that we do. So we're going to talk about all 4 teams in each division, go over key players such as quarterbacks, running backs, receivers, also defenses, predict who's going to win each division, and then also maybe talk about who's going to make the playoffs. Who could be a surprise team potentially for the postseason. Last week, these guys went over the AFC West with Pat. It was a great discussion. Today, we're going to hopefully have some similar talks about the AFC North. So in the AFC North, we obviously have the Baltimore Ravens, Cincinnati Bengals, Cleveland Browns, and Pittsburgh Steelers. Bobby's going to give you some recent history about the AFC North.
All right. So the Baltimore Ravens went 13-4 last year. The Cleveland Browns came in second in the division with an 11-6 record. The Pittsburgh Steelers came in third with a surprising 10-7 record. And the Cincinnati Bengals finished with once again a surprising record of 9-8. They were the only team, or the only division in the league with all teams above 500.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Some may say the best division in football.
Yeah.
The Ravens won the division last season, and they've won it 3 of the last 6 years. Yeah. The Bengals won the division in 2021 and 2022 before Joe Burrow's hand injury last year. They also lost in the Super Bowl in 2022. There have been 3 different division winners in the last 4 years, with the Pittsburgh Steelers winning it in 2020. Now, the Cleveland Browns, you may ask, they haven't won the division since 1989, where the Houston Oilers were in this division.
That was literally the year my
The Houston Oilers won this division more recent than the Cleveland Browns in 1992.
That's a good stat. But I was just going to mention, this guy just had a birthday. That was almost around 1989 when you...
1989? That 8 years before me, you dick.
Jokes.
Yeah.
That's a good stat, though, with the Oilers.
Yeah. Last year, the division saw 3 teams make the playoffs, and now, since it's been expanded to the 7-team format, the Ravens got the AFC's first overall seed and the number 1 in the bye in the first round, while the Browns and Steelers also earned spots but lost in their first round games.
That was pretty shocking.
Browns wiggled their way, I remember.
Yeah, Joe Flacco, dude.
But just shows like this is a gauntlet of a division, and you have the Ravens make the AFC Championship game this year, or last year now, and the Bengals make it to the Super Bowl 2 years ago. So it's
imagine being the Bengals, being in the Super Bowl in 2022, and then last year not even making the playoffs.
I know. I mean, they were so close, but we'll get into the Bengals in a few. We're going to start by talking about the Baltimore Ravens. So obviously coming off a great season with Lamar Jackson winning his second MVP award. And as we just said, they reached the AFC Championship game where they fell to the Chiefs. Shouldn't really have, because Zay Flowers had that stupid reach at the goal line and fumbled the ball that would have been a touchdown. But their big splash in the offseason, Lewis's favorite move thus far probably, is going out and getting star running back Derrick Henry. Their win total this year is currently set at over under 11.5. And they won 13 last year. Yeah.
I was just going to go over their schedule real quick.
Go for it.
So, Chiefs week 1. Raiders week 2.
The Raiders!
Now, here's where it's going to get a little bit tough. Cowboys, Bills, Bengals.
Wow. All Commanders.
Then Commanders, so easy game. Bucks, iffy. Browns, Broncos, terrible.
Yeah.
Bengals again, Ravens, back-to-back weeks. Jesus Christ.
Ravens play the Ravens back-to-back weeks.
Steelers, Chargers.
Yeah.
Eagles, Giants, Steelers, Texans, ending the season against the Browns.
That is a tough schedule.
That's a very tough schedule.
That first 5 games, crap. And don't
Yeah.
sleep on the Raiders.
Yeah, exactly. Because they have one of the best defenses in the league.
They're not a fun team to play against.
No.
I'm not saying they're good, but...
And depending on who their quarterback's going to be, if it's Minshew, it's going to be a good game.
That's a very tough first 5.
Yeah.
It is.
I don't... Over 11.5?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Questionable.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I see a solid 10, but I don't know 12.
I'd say I'd say under, but I'd say at like 11 though.
Can't sleep on D. Henry.
You can't. All the hype with the offseason moves and MVP Lamar and coming off an AFC Championship appearance, like that schedule makes you kind of rethink all of that. You know what I mean? Like, are they going to be that good with that schedule? You know, because they play the Bengals twice, obviously. They play the Browns, one of the best D's in the league, twice. And they play, you just mentioned, the Bills, Eagles, and Chiefs.
And Cowboys.
And Cowboys, who are all, well, maybe not the Cowboys, but are all Super Bowl contenders. I can't say the Cowboys because
that's true.
They're a meme. They're a meme. Sorry to any Cowboys fans out there. But Lamar Jackson, as I said now, 2-time MVP, kind of shut some people up last year before they were saying he can't win a playoff game. He doesn't perform in the playoffs. He got his team to the AFC Championship, and wasn't his fault, really. I don't think that they didn't
gave them a shot.
Make it. You got to give him a shot, and he did. Is he the best quarterback in this division?
Yeah.
By
hands down, there's no question. The only one I would say would be Burrow, but with all of his injuries, I don't think so.
After that injury, it's like
you don't know what he's going to look like.
Exactly.
And Lamar's coming in a little bit trimmed down this year.
Yeah, 15 pounds lighter, weighs closer to 200.
He's ready to run, dude.
Yeah.
He's ready to run.
Not bad.
So there's a reason why he's ready to run. So last year, their O-line, PFF ranked their O-line 5th. They now lost 3 starters on their O-line this offseason.
Wow.
Moses Morgan, Zach Ziegler, I think's his name, and Simpson. I don't know his first name, but Simpson.
Okay.
This year, PFF has them ranked 25th.
Wow.
So a big difference from last year to this year.
Wow.
So we'll see how this run game goes with everything. Hence why Lamar lost his weight, because he's going to be needing to run around, which is good because it's scrambling.
Yeah.
He's preparing himself.
Yeah.
I mean, for a shitty situation, but I feel like at the end of the day, it's kind of a preseason rank, so it's like
we'll see.
You can't really see until literally that first game in Arrowhead.
Yeah, honestly.
Against that Chiefs defense in that hostile environment
Yeah.
will be a big test for them. But the strength of this team has been the run game and also the defense, but the run game offensively, not that Lamar can't pass, he's a great quarterback, but they're known for their rushing offense. And now with Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson side by side in the backfield, that's a pretty damn
scary.
Formidable rushing attack right there. Derrick Henry, actually, his line is at over under 10.5 rushing touchdowns for this season. I know you guys talked about Gus Edwards.
Hammer!
Hold on. I know you guys talked about
headphone users.
Gus Edwards joining the Chargers on last episode because of the AFC West. He had how many touchdowns with the Ravens last year?
13, I think.
If you're telling me that Derrick Henry can't put up
15,
11 when Gus Edwards just had 13, that would be a little disappointing.
Yeah. Compared to where last year it was Gus Edwards and Justice Hill, now this year it's fucking Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
So.
A little bit of something to prove for Henry, though, because the Titans said, you know what, we're letting you walk. You're too old. Running backs can't last. So I hope he does well.
Me too.
I mean, he went to a contender, so
for
definitely
sure.
He has that chance to.
Should have been traded there last year.
Yeah, definitely. But at the same time, the Titans also improved somehow without even losing him, despite losing him. But we'll get into them later down the road. We talked about the strength of this team. Now the weakness, it's been the receivers throughout the years. Got a little better last year with the addition of rookie Zay Flowers out of Boston College. 77 catches, over 850 yards, and 5 touchdowns.
And for a rookie, that's a pretty good season.
Very good. This year, they have obviously Flowers, along with Rashad Bateman, Nelson Aguilar, Russell Gage, rookie Devontae Walker, who was catching passes for Drake May at UNC. Tight ends Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely, who combined for almost 1,000 yards and 11 receiving touchdowns last year between the two, despite Andrews being out with that injury. And they also added former All-Pro return man Deontay Hardy, who's played for the Saints and the Bills. He's a former Division II.
I was going to say, went to which college?
Assumption. So he's very electric when he gets on those returns.
Speedy.
But
Mark Andrews, dude.
Are you guys liking this receiving core?
I mean, the receiving core, no, but Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely are such a crazy duo together.
Agree.
But it's insane, watching, when you actually watch them, they don't use them both ever at the same time. It's always just Andrews, and then if Andrews gets hurt, then it's just like
that could change because last year I feel like Likely didn't step up until Andrews went out.
Yeah. And also, it was their first year under Todd Monken, where this year it's their second season under him.
Offensive coordinator.
Yeah, he's their OC. So he's more of a pass heavy OC, anyways. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see what they do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
exciting team though.
Very exciting team to watch.
I would agree, but at the same time, I hate to bring back Derrick Henry, but it really does depend on how they play with Derrick Henry. Yeah. How the defenses read that too.
Yeah,
it could open the field for all these guys. Someone could have 1,000-yard season.
I would love to see a set with. I know you said it doesn't happen a lot with the two tight ends, but Andrews Likely with Henry in the backfield and Zay Flowers out on one side. I think that there's not many offenses better than that. But we'll shift over to the last thing about the Ravens.
Hold on, I'm thinking about it. Imagine this. Ready? The 5-0 line.
Yeah. Tight
Lamar. And then in the backfield, you have Isaiah Likely, Mark Andrews, and then Derrick Henry behind them.
Like a pistol? Or
yeah.
Okay.
And then Zay Flowers on the outside.
That would be... I mean, I wouldn't put past the Ravens. They do some funky...
I really hope they do that.
They got Zay Flowers involved in the rushing game last year with motions and stuff, so they could do that.
Absolutely.
Faking the Henry motion little touch pass, as you like to run in college football. But we'll shift to the last thing about the Ravens, and that's their defense. Because as much as their offense is really, really good, their defense was the best in football last year, arguably.
We can't forget about someone that's technically on the offensive side, the best kicker in football being Justin Tucker.
No, you can't forget about him. The guy can hit 60-yarders, 50-yarders, wherever you want him. 70-yarders in practice.
The goat of kickers.
Now, they did...
Fuck Bucker.
They did lose linebacker Patrick Quinn, who was really, in my opinion, I liked him there. Yeah. A lot of people, he had a lot of critics, but he was a solid piece on their defense as a linebacker. He moved on to the Steelers. We'll get to that later. But statistically, as I said, one of the best defenses in the league. They still have Roquan Smith, Odafe Owe, young pass rusher. They have Kyle Van Noy, former Patriot.
They got him, I believe, last year midseason.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then defensive backs, Marlon Humphrey, Marcus Williams, and All-Pro a season ago, Kyle Hamilton, who was in his second year out of Notre Dame. He's really, really good.
Yeah.
So
he's next.
They allowed the fewest points per game last year, just over 15 points a game, and they had 60 sacks, which led the league. Is this the best defense in the division and football? That's a tough question because...
That's a very tough question. One, there's a lot of good defenses in the NFL. Two, there's a lot of good defenses in this division.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I would probably say top two.
Yeah.
Maybe. Even then, I'm like, I don't know. Because I could ease my number one defense, I would say, is definitely the Browns. Yeah. It's kind of up in the air with me with the Steelers and Ravens.
Yeah.
Because they're both very good defenses.
A lot of defensive talent.
TJ Watt,
there's so much defensive talent in this league.
Fitzpatrick.
Bro, the defensive ends in this league are outrageous.
Yeah.
But, what do you think, Lewis? They're solid.
I would have to agree with Bobby that Browns are definitely the top defense, but
okay. Bro,
I would say I don't.
Yeah, it's very hard.
Personally,
maybe that's why they hammered their offense.
Bengals definitely hands down worst defense in the league for sure. Yeah, or not league, but one of them. Division.
Personally, I think the Ravens defense is because not only did they have key pass rushers and a veteran linebacker in Van Noy, Kyle Hamilton entering his third year in the secondary is just a difference maker. Yeah, when you have an all-pro, that's a quarterback's worst nightmare, I feel like.
Yeah.
And I feel like he'll be an absolute ball hawk against some of the weaker quarterbacks in the division.
Yeah, but you could say that too also about Joey Porter Jr.
You could. But Joey Porter Jr. is going against better quarterbacks than Kyle Hamilton because Joey Porter is facing Lamar Jackson, whereas Kyle Hamilton is going to be facing up against Russ, Justin Fields. We'll talk about that later too, but it's an interesting discussion. As always, John Harbaugh, in charge of the Ravens, always does a good job. One of the best coaches in the league. So that's it for the Ravens.
Yep.
Let's move on now to the second place team in the standings last year, and that was the Cleveland Browns. Came in second in the AFC North. I believe it was 11-6 their record. We all know about the first thing that comes to mind when you talk about the Browns, Deshaun Watson.
I was going to say Joe Flacco.
Deshaun Watson. Joe Flacco has moved on. I believe he's a backup in Indianapolis.
This was Flacco's team.
It was.
This was his team.
But we all know about Deshaun Watson, all his baggage, the massages, the freaking the sexual assaults, all that stuff. And he's been there 2 years, hasn't had a full year. He had an injury last year, and he was suspended the year before. You guys mentioned Joe Flacco. He came in, and when Watson went out with a season-ending shoulder injury, Flacco took the reins at the end of the season.
Dorian Thompson-Robinson and P.J. Walker then went to Joe Flacco.
Yeah. Then it was Flacco towards the end. But you can say he was one of the reasons why they made the playoffs at age 38. The Browns over/under win total this year 8.5 right now. They had 11 last year. How are you guys feeling about the Browns? And do you think Deshaun Watson can have a stable, consistent year in Cleveland in his third season?
The Deshaun Watson, that's a big what if.
It is. Yeah.
Who knows if
he was so good in Houston before he went.
I know. Mm-hmm. But he had injuries and all that bullshit that he was. involved in.
But right now, he's 100% ready to go.
Right. And we'll get into it in a second, has some better weapons to throw to as well. But go ahead and talk about the schedule.
Brown's schedule. Opening the season against the Cowboys.
Wow.
At Jacksonville.
Okay.
Home against the Giants. Should be a win.
Yeah.
At Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
At Commanders. At Eagles. Home against the Bengals. Home against the Ravens. Home against the Chargers.
Yeah.
At the Saints. Home against the Steelers, at the Broncos, at the Steelers, home against the Chiefs, at the Bengals, home against the Dolphins, and then they're closing out the season away at Baltimore.
It's a lot of playoff teams on there.
So, yeah, a lot of playoff teams. I'd probably say it's one of the hardest schedules in the NFL.
But, I mean, you got to think the Browns were a playoff team a year ago, too, without their quarterback. So.
But to answer your question about Deshaun Watson, can he be that guy? I mean, they have the weapons to do it.
Right.
He's got the capability of doing it.
He does.
I feel like he doesn't have any excuses.
Yeah.
No, I feel like coming into this year, he has no excuse. If he's bad, though, he's just bad, and you got to move on. I mean, it sucks that you spent so much money on him, but gotta do it. Gotta move on.
So I want to actually flip this real quick because we just talked about his improved weapons. The Browns also had a big trade in the offseason, acquiring Jerry Jeudy, wide receiver from the Denver Broncos, to pair up with star wideout Amari Cooper. Jeudy has had 750 or more yards in 3 out of 4 seasons somehow in that atrocious Denver franchise. Cooper has surpassed 1,000 yards in 4 out of the last 5 years. He has 35 touchdowns in the last 5 years. So pretty good 1-2 there at wideout. They also have Elijah Moore and tight end David Njoku as reliable pass catchers.
Who broke out while he's been in the league for like 7 years.
Njoku? Last year,
Yeah, so he finally came out and had that season. But the thing is like, can he have that season again with Deshaun Watson? Because before when Deshaun Watson was the quarterback with him, he didn't do jack shit.
Yeah.
And then Joe Flacco came in, and then he finally started to do stuff because Joe was like, "Oh, I should give this
security blanket." Good security blanket for Flacco for sure.
Don't forget they are in trade talks with Ayuk.
Yes.
They're talking about giving up Amari Cooper for him.
I know.
Would you do that?
I feel like it's a wash, honestly. But
it's definitely
Ayuk is younger.
Ayuk's definitely younger, but at that point, it's like, okay, so because he's younger, he should be better.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's going to be tough. I just hope he uses. Honestly, I hope he uses Njoku. A lot more.
You like the targets for Watson?
I do like the targets for Watson. I feel like Jerry Jeudy will open up the field definitely way more for Amari.
Yeah.
And like you said, he has no excuses. Like, this is like the year that he should prove himself as that star that we all thought he was coming out of
Clemson.
Yes.
And then he was with Houston.
Yeah.
But we'll now shift it back over to running back because a huge piece of this team is their franchise running back, Nick Chubb, who had one of the worst injuries I've ever seen. In week 2 of Monday Night Football last year, he tore his ACL, MCL, and meniscus, had surgery. He's going to start this year on the sidelines, so we don't know when he's going to come back yet. Do you guys think that he'll be back to his top form this year? And in the meantime, do you think Jerome Ford and Deontay Foreman can fill the hole in his absence?
Did it last year.
Jerome Ford
100% did it last year. And Deontay Foreman, for like the 2 or 3 games that he played in Chicago, he was a fucking beast.
Can I say one thing? People are going to be high on Ford this year in fantasy. And then Foreman's going to come in and vulture all the touchdowns.
So many touchdowns. Like I said, though, like he was so good for Chicago last year in those 3 games. And then they said,
I know.
I don't really feel like it.
Literally.
They pretty much cut him.
I know.
So,
no, there's no...
You think Chubb can bounce back, though?
Yes. He did it. He's done it before.
Yeah, but he has
his knee was backwards.
His knee was backwards in college, and it's the same knee.
Yeah, but that was like backwards in college. Then he landed on it, and then that hyperextended. Like, didn't he like do a spin move, and then like he landed on the sideline and tried landing on his
jumped.
leg?
He jumped.
Wasn't this a fucking helmet to your knee?
It literally like inverted his leg.
Yeah.
Coming back to full potential, no. It's like using your iPhone battery.
Yeah.
Like, at like maximum capacity, it'll go down. Even
For
though
sure.
you think it's at 100, it's not.
Yeah.
But he definitely still would have that capability of just being like that guy.
He can-
just not at like.
Not the level he
100% can
was.
still be
Yeah.
that number one guy
Yeah.
for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, I hope he bounces back just because that was
Absolutely.
terrible to
And
see.
he was such a good back.
So good. But the main reason they won 11 games and punched their ticket to playoffs was because of their defense. Myles Garrett,
Yeah.
he's a rare specimen.
He is him.
Like, that dude just
Dog.
like 360 dunks basketballs, and like he's just an athlete. He's the reigning NFL Defensive Player of the Year. He has 46 sacks in the last 3 seasons, including 14 last year in just 16 games, so almost 1 sack a game. They also have Zadarius Smith, and they have defensive backs Denzel Ward and Grant Delpit, along with Juan Thornhill, so a pretty good defensive back unit there. They allowed the fewest yards per game last year in the league, 270 yards per game,
Wow.
and the fewest passing yards, 164 passing yards allowed per game.
Hence why I said best defense in the division. And Grant Delpit, I think, is technically only coming into his second full season because he missed his first season with the torn ACL.
Right.
So he's going to be huge. And I don't know. And I don't know why I'm bringing this up, but Deebo Samuel got hurt from Juan Thornhill last year.
I was just about to mention the same thing because you're watching Receiver on Netflix.
Apparently
The
in the
game,
middle of it.
like, remember that shock game where the 49ers come in undefeated or one loss maybe, and the Browns pulled off this crazy upset
It was like 19
because of their
17 or something.
defense, and they're playing at home.
They also
so,
missed a field goal to win the game.
Right.
But still, it's because they're their defense.
but they did have a rookie kicker, but their defense, I mean, to pull off a win against the 49ers regardless, it's pretty impressive. So their head coach is Kevin Stefanski, entering his 5th year in charge of Cleveland. Let's move over to the Pittsburgh Steelers, last year's third-place team and final AFC playoff spot. I believe they were the 7 seed. A bit of a shock to have even been above 500 last year, right? I mean, how did they make the playoffs with that offense?
Yeah, who knows, honestly.
I mean, it's crazy. 9-8? 10-7.
10-7, yeah.
So, but head coach Mike Tomlin
That's why
is their wild card.
He is why they made the playoffs.
So 17 straight seasons with a winning record, and he has never had a losing season as a head coach. That is unbelievable. Isn't that unbelievable?
Yeah,
It's crazy.
So the Steelers' over-under win total for 2024 is just 7.5. So if you think Tomlin's trend will continue, you got to take the over. But
for sure.
if you don't, then you don't. But you can't really go against 17 straight winning seasons, can you? I don't think so. But obviously,
the schedule's really not that hard either.
Obviously, you know,
For them, it will be.
the main focus right now, though, in their offseason has been the quarterback position. Last year, they started a mix of Mitchell Trubisky, Mason Rudolph, Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett's now in Philly. And now they've brought in Russell Wilson, let him cook, and Justin Fields, the young guy who, in my opinion, didn't get a fair shake in Chicago. What do you guys think about their quarterback situation?
I mean, I hope it's Justin Fields at the end of the day.
Me too.
He was the one who's going to be electric. The only thing that I hope for the Steelers with Russ starting is George Pickens, because Russ loves to throw that deep ball, and George Pickens is such a good deep threat.
He is. Did you know that Russ signed with a 1.2 million minimum?
Because he's getting paid by the Broncos.
Well, that's true. I didn't consider that.
Yeah, so he doesn't care. He's just like, whatever, I'll get paid the minimum and go play.
Do you think, Lewis, that they'll start with Russell Wilson and then they'll transition into Justin Fields?
Let me tell you this. I think Russell Wilson definitely is going to be the number one starting the season.
Day one, yeah.
He's going to shit the bed, I believe. Have a couple off games, and then Mike Tomlin's going to be like, this record is about to be flat.
So ready?
So he's going to start Justin Fields by, I'm calling it like week 6
I was just going to say 6.
Week
Ready?
6 or 7.
The first 4 weeks, Falcons, Broncos, Chargers, Colts.
That sounds like a 4-0 record right there.
Cowboys.
Give it 3.
That's a
At
toss-up. Toss-up.
At home.
Toss-up in that environment.
And then the Raiders.
Also
that was your first 6 weeks.
Dude, that could
so
be...
if Russ can't do shit against any of these defenses...
By week 6 or 7.
Now, I will say the Falcons and Colts do have good defenses, but those aren't good football teams. Right now. But we'll see.
Chargers are technically good defense on paper, but we'll see how they end up coming about.
Those should be some wins, though.
Yes.
They should not be below 500 in those 6 after those 6 games.
No.
Go ahead.
But just to finish, I do feel like the Steelers brought in Russ and Justin Fields to kind of like have Russ mentor Justin. So
and then they end up getting into a fight.
How old is Russ now?
36, I think.
Yeah.
So
at the end of the day,
fact check that.
He's their future quarterback.
Yeah.
Another question mark for the Steelers, though, is their running back. I know Bobby has a lot of opinions on this because he's a big fantasy guy. But Najee Harris, obviously the Steelers starting RB the last couple of seasons, but his numbers and his carries have been declining ever since his first season. He's going to be in his third or fourth year this year. I think it's fourth, right?
I believe it's
third or fourth. But Jalen Warren is kind of waiting in the midst. He's seeing an increase in touches for the Steelers offense. He had 784 rushing yards last year as number 2, which is pretty impressive. Do you guys think this will be a 50-50? Will Najee keep the starting job, or will Warren kind of surpass him this year?
I can be wrong, but didn't Najee get a lot of throws too?
Yeah, I mean,
they both
catch a lot of passes.
Warren was more of the pass catcher than Najee was.
Yeah, but Najee still caught passes.
Najee's yards per carry last year was fucking horrendous.
2 yards a carry, bro.
It was one of the worst in the league. But I believe I read this. I believe I heard that he slimmed down a little bit. So we'll see how if that plays into effect. But
definitely good to have 2 options.
Yeah, they definitely need to have 2. I mean, it's always good to have 2. Better have 2 than none. So
what do you think, Lewis? You agree?
I definitely agree on that.
They also they didn't improve much on their receiving core. It actually got worse because they lost Deontay Johnson, who was a huge weapon for them.
To the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah. They still have George Pickens, like you said, and in the 2 seasons, he's almost had 2,000 yards, and he has 9 touchdowns in those 2 years. They also have Pat Freiermuth at tight end. They did draft Roman Wilson out of Michigan, who could play a part for them. Do you guys think they have enough weapons between those running backs and receivers to compete in this division?
No.
It's good.
No.
But you know who their number 2 receiver is right now?
Who's that?
Van Jefferson.
Yes, I did see they added Van Jefferson. But
you want to know who's still on their team this year?
Who?
Allen Robinson.
Allen, really? No way.
At least he was last year.
Wow.
I don't know. I think he's still in. I need to fact check this myself. But
what was I going to say? I forgot what I was going to say. What did you say?
Oh no, he's in the
Allen
Giants now.
What did you say before Allen Robinson? I forget.
Who the wide receiver 2 was?
They're in the trade talks with Ayuk as well. So they definitely need to make.
I don't know who they would give up for him though, which is a thing because obviously the Patriots would bring up this set. Yeah, obviously the Pats would give him their 2nd round pick in Bourne, and then the Browns would give him Amari Cooper in a pick. So
they don't really have much. I mean, they could deal a quarterback if one of them's looking better than the other.
Yeah,
but let's close it out with their defense. Another team in this division with a really, really, really good defense. Patrick Quinn, as I mentioned, moving from Baltimore to Pittsburgh. He's going to play a part in the middle of that defense. And also Cameron Hayward, and you can't forget about TJ Watt, who is coming off a 19-sack season on that defensive line. And then along with Minkah Fitzpatrick and, as you mentioned before the episode, Joey Porter Jr. lingering in the secondary.
I would love to see his over-under on sacks this year.
You should look it up right now if it's out. It might not be out. But their defense ranked in the top 10 in fewest points per game allowed last year, giving up just over 18 a game. So a really, really solid defense.
Yeah, this is probably Cam Hayward's last season because I think he's like 38, 39.
He's old.
So he's getting up there in age. I mean, this defense is going to be fucking
formidable.
Yeah.
Over under 13.75.
That's it?
Hammer that.
What's Myles Garrett? So TJ Watt's over under for sacks is 13.75, and he had 19 last year.
Myles Garrett over under 13.25.
And he had 14 last year.
Oh.
And he's had 14, 16, and 16. That's his last 3 years for Gary. Yeah, wow, that's crazy. But let's get into the final team in this division, the Cincinnati Bengals. In my opinion, I'm honestly not a huge Joe Burrow guy, but I feel like a lot of people forgot about how good this team was. They got to a Super Bowl when Joe Burrow was like in his
They
second
finished with
year.
a 500 record with fucking Jake Browning as their quarterback.
That's exactly 9-8, as Bobby said, above 500. Lost Joe Burrow for the year in Week 11. He had the wrist injury. He
couldn't throw.
He was throwing, and I believe he hit it on.
Oh, he hit it on
helmet
players,
something like that. So
this injury has never happened to a quarterback ever, and it's only happened to defensive linemen.
Wow,
I believe
that's shocking. It's kind of like a Kristaps freak injury, right? Their over/under win total this year is set at 10.5. So they won 9 last year, doable with Burrow back. But as Bobby pointed out, he hasn't had a normal start to training camp since he's been in the league. COVID in his rookie year kind of affecting everybody. ACL tear in 2021, appendicitis in 22, calf injury last year, and now the wrist injury. And he's not throwing for 3 straight days. So that means he throws Monday, Tuesday. He's not throwing Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
So you don't want to see that for a guy that you're paying is the highest paid quarterback in the league, tied with Trevor Lawrence and Jordan Love. Who would have thought that trio would be leading the league?
You know what's crazy?
As highest paid
Jordan
quarterbacks.
Love played one full, actually played one season. That's it.
That's it.
Now he's the highest
and
paid
he won
quarterback.
One playoff game or 2?
One. He
beat the Cowboys.
And played the 49ers.
Too. That seems a little bit of an overreaction to me. But we'll get back into the Bengals here. Do you guys think Joe Burrow is worth that amount of money? And can he get the Bengals back into the playoffs and in the mix this year?
Can I get one fucking healthy training camp from Joe Burrow?
No, you can't.
Please.
No. He's like Lamar. Lamar is sick in every preseason, right?
Yeah.
His immune system is that of a freaking 87-year-old.
In August.
In the summer.
Yes.
Go ahead, Lewis. You think he can bring him back?
I feel like he's just too overpaid for all those injuries, man.
I know.
You don't think so?
No.
I wouldn't want to be paying a guy $55 million a year for that list of injuries.
And we're making sure he's not throwing for 3 days straight and then throw.
I would much rather have Joe Burrow than the top 10 the other 9 quarterbacks that are in the top 10 for most that being the highest paid quarterbacks.
Fair. There are some weird like Trevor Lawrence, for example.
Jordan Love. Daniel Jones.
Daniel Dones.
Dude.
Every time I hear that name, I'm going to say that.
But yeah.
So you like Joe Burrow.
Yeah, he's the only person that has ever beaten Patrick Mahomes in the postseason to lead them
besides Tom Brady.
Besides Brady, but to bring them to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, you're right. Nobody else has done it thus far besides him and Brady. So good company.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he can do it.
He was a game away from kind of winning that and cementing his legacy at that young of an age. And he's only 26 probably.
Something like that.
Say Siri, how old's Joe Burrow?
Like, what if Lamar was making this much? Would he be too overpaid?
Absolutely not.
Because he won MVP and he got to an AFC Championship game. Won MVP twice.
2 MVP.
He's 27.
Yeah. 2-time MVP. Yeah.
That's an interesting debate, but we'll move on now to their backfield.
What do you think?
What do I think? Like I said, I'm not a big Joe Burrow guy. I definitely don't think you should be paying a guy the most in the league, $55 million a year, for that list of injuries. But they're all in on him, and they have a good connection with Jamar Chase, obviously, the college teammates, and also T. Higgins, so he can sling the rock. Don't get me wrong. I think Joe Burrow is a top 10 quarterback in the league for sure, but I don't think he should be worth that much. So that's my answer. We'll move to the backfield now. The huge loss, in my opinion, of Joe Mixon.
Oh, absolutely.
Joe Mixon, over 1,400 scrimmage yards and 12 total touchdowns last year, leaving to join the Houston Texans. That is going to be a fun team to watch. That'll be probably next episode, AFC South. But the Bengals backfield now down to Zach Moss, Chase Brown, Travion Williams. So not guys that kind of jump off the page, but you guys think they can replace what Mixon left behind?
It's going to be tough.
Yeah.
Obviously, I know we're not talking about fantasy, but like here's a little quick fantasy stat on Mixon. He was ranked number 5 last year in running backs.
Right.
Yeah.
He's been in the top 10 ever since he's been in the NFL.
The league, yeah.
And now he's leaving, and obviously bringing Zach Moss, who's shown that he could do it in Indianapolis, but he's now not their number 1. It's Chase Brown. So give the guy.
He played for like Arizona or no? Chase Brown?
No, Chase Brown was a rookie last year, I believe.
Okay.
And so he's now coming onto the scene. Now they want to give him the ball.
I'm thinking of Chase Edmonds.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah, he's in Tampa Bay.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, Chase Brown is going to be. We'll see what he looks like. I definitely want to see what preseason looks like for him before anything else really happens. I obviously brought Zach Moss in because they are a lot in the shotgun, and Zach Moss always is a shotgun taking running back, as weird as that sounds. But no, I mean, it's going to be tough. Definitely going to be tough to fill Mixon's shoes.
Well, go ahead if you want to say something.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, like you said, it's very hard to
replace that.
Yeah, replace Joe Mixon and what he did for Cincy.
Well, hopefully taking a little bit of pressure off that is going to be guys running routes and catching passes. And right now, that's Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. I know they've had some contract disputes this offseason. T. Higgins just getting the 1-year franchise tag, which people don't like because you're not committed to them.
That's pretty much just telling them like next year
we don't believe in you enough. Yeah, that's why they don't like it. But Jamar Chase, I believe, still
Dak 3 times.
Yeah. Jamar Chase, I believe, is still waiting for the extension, right? He hasn't been extended, right?
No.
So, but the plan is to get them both to play this year. They've also added Mike Gesicki, the best gritty I've ever fucking seen. I'm just kidding. At tight end, they also have some other
former Patriot.
Yeah. They also have Jermaine Burton and Trenton Irwin catching passes.
On Jermaine.
That's why I mentioned them. But they did lose Tyler Boyd. He was kind of their slot team captain. He's with the Titans now, so that was kind of a little bit of a loss there.
Don't answer this yet, but do you know where Jermaine Burton went to college?
No.
Do you?
Jermaine Burton?
Yeah.
No.
University of Alabama.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
You could have asked one more person.
I don't even know if Ryan would have known that.
He would have known that. I bet you.
I'll ask him after.
I feel like just on paper, the loss of Mixon is just taking a lot out of the offense. Like they get down in the red zone. Like you gotta watch Mixon, bro. That guy's a touchdown machine, dude. And taking him out, it just puts a lot more pressure on the receivers. I feel like.
Yeah, no, for sure. And Burrow.
Correct. So we'll see how they do. But their defense, as you mentioned before, one of the league's worst last year. Allowed the second most yards per game, 375 yards a game. And they allowed the 11th most points per game with just about 22. They do have key pass rushers, Sam Hubbard and Trey Hendrickson on each side. So that's kind of tough for offensive lines. But you guys think it's obviously kind of safe to say the offensive will be carrying the load for this team, needing to score probably 25, 30-plus points per game to win?
Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
Just by the way they look.
Yeah.
They're definitely a heavy.
Also, we didn't talk about it, but Joe Burrow with his fucking haircut.
Yeah, the fucking Eminem.
What do you guys think? Do you guys like it?
I mean, I can't say I don't. I did it myself.
I know.
He can do whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah.
Like, does that mean it's going to make him play more, though?
People are saying his aura's gone.
Oh, my God.
Because his hair is now gone. Dude went from having the best hair in the league to now having the worst hair in the league.
Well,
that's like fucking Ronaldo going...
Man bun?
No, Ronaldo.
Oh, the fucking R9, yeah.
Yeah, R9, just shaving his head, and then he had a triangle.
He shaved his whole head and had a
triangle, just a
patch of hair right here, bro. It's crazy.
I guess
I'll add in the picture of that.
Yeah, I guess that got his mind off. Like people were just thinking about his hair and like how he
his
played.
Play. That's crazy.
That's a good idea.
So it just it got his mentals right.
So Bengals head coach is Zach Taylor, entering. Crazy to think his 6th season, feels like he just took over, but pretty good young coach there. Now that we've gone over all the teams, let's get a rankings prediction from each of us. Lewis, what are your rankings for the AFC North?
I got number 1 Ravens.
Mm.
I don't know if anyone else doesn't, but I feel like Ravens are taking this division.
I don't.
Wow. Okay.
Let
Number
'em
2. I swear to God, if you see the Steelers are winning this division, dude.
You'll see.
Number 2, I'm gonna go with the Browns, and then I'm going Bengals. Steelers.
You want me to go first, or you want?
You can go
okay.
first.
And
I
this
want
will
you
be
to have
Mike Tomlin's first year
losing
under 500.
Okay. I'm gonna say Ravens number 1 because I like Lamar and Derek too much. I'm gonna say at number 2, the Pittsburgh Steelers. I like Justin Fields. I always have, and their defense is good. I think they'll add a couple more pieces to help their offense. And between Russ and Justin Fields, they have to have an answer.
They have to.
3 will be the Bengals, and 4 will be the Browns. I think, in my opinion, last year was a fluke. We said make it or break it year for Deshaun. I feel like it's going to be break it. Your floor.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that. That would be my bottom team. Would definitely be the Browns. I definitely agree with you.
Yeah.
I'm going to start from the bottom.
Okay.
So 4, I'm going to say Browns.
Okay.
3, Steelers. 2,
Ravens.
Yeah. The Bengals are coming back.
You
and they
big
will
Joe
win
Burrow
division.
guy. I
Big
told
Joe
you.
Burrow.
I told you.
Yeah. I love Joe Burrow. Brr.
How many wins then?
Probably, dude. They honestly have a really easy schedule.
So,
I was looking at it earlier. It's Patriots, Chiefs, Commanders, Panthers,
that's an easy start.
Ravens, Giants, Browns, Eagles, Raiders, Ravens, Chargers, Steelers, Cowboys,
Yeah.
Titans, Browns, Broncos, Steelers.
Easy start. So if they
I'm
get
just
some-
saying-
I would
Hats
say
are taking that first
11
game.
or like 11 or 12 maybe.
So you think they're first place with 11 or 12 wins?
Yeah.
I mean, it is a balanced division, so it could play out like that. Let me ask you guys this: over or under 2.5 teams from this division in the playoffs? One word answer: over or under. There was 3 last year. Over or under 2.5 teams from the AFC North make the playoffs in 2024.
Over.
Under.
I'm going to go under as well. I think 3 teams in the same division in the playoffs is very hard. But before we close this out,
You said one word. Under.
Over.
before we close this out, yes or no? Definitely the best division in football. Yes, for me.
Right now?
Yes. AFC East could
Yeah.
challenge this year with Rodgers coming back and Josh Allen and Tua.
Yeah, but the Patriots compared to the Browns for
Fair.
yeah.
Or the
Yeah, but the
Steelers.
Patriots
Yeah,
are beating
whichever
your
you
fucking Bengals week 1, baby.
Yeah.
That's all we know. 2 weeks done of the Olympics now. 1 week to go here.
One weekend, really.
1 weekend, yeah, really.
2 days.
Final events are finishing up this week.
Mhm.
Team USA has been absolutely killing it, obviously, leading the
Okay.
medal count.
We'll get that in a
We'll
second.
get a medal count in a second here. But while we're looking for that, there's been a lot of updates from the
Right.
Olympics that
Yeah,
and
hey,
winners.
I'll read it.
U.S. 111 with 33 golds, 39 silvers, and 39 bronze.
Mm-hmm. China.
Second is China, 83,
And how many golds there were?
33 golds.
So same
So
same
same amount of golds.
Wow.
27 silvers and 23 bronze.
Yeah.
Third.
Third is in the gold count is Australia, but in the total medal count
Yeah.
is Great Britain
Interesting.
with 57.
And how many does Australia have gold?
18.
And how many total?
48.
Any other countries worth mentioning? In there?
France is 56.
Oh, yeah.
That home country
Yeah.
with 14 gold. That's really it. Yeah, this is literally it, really.
We can fly through some of these, but I put them together by sport. So
My
yes.
person to watch.
Yes.
Sydney McLaughlin Levroni.
Lavroni.
My bad. I'm gonna say it again.
I said LeBron during the.
I didn't know either until they said it.
Sydney McLaughlin Levroni won the women's 400-meter hurdles.
Dude, she's
that
so
was
good.
insane.
She's so good.
It's crazy too. Like her face doesn't move. It's just her body. It's just
Yeah.
like,
She's so beautiful.
breaking her own world record. She's the only woman to ever win 2 Olympic gold medals in that event.
Yeah.
She will also compete in the women's 4x400-meter relay final, which is happening on Saturday. And USA's Anna Cockrell won silver in the women's 400-meter hurdle.
It's a great
So-
race. She's only 25 too, so bright future.
Grant Holloway won his first Olympic gold medal in men's 110-meter hurdles. Won the silver medal at the Tokyo Olympics back in 2020.
Is that supposed to be 100? Or is it actually
110.
Really? That's such a weird number.
Daniel Roberts took silver by 0.003 seconds and dove across the finish line.
He was going to be third, and then he reached across and beat the Jamaican guy, and he fell across and he scraped his arm. It was insane.
I mean,
if you want to watch something crazy, watch this race. You know what they call Grant Holloway? I posted it on my Instagram story last night because I like this guy so much. They call him the Flamingo. That's his nickname. He's got the longest fucking legs, dude, and he just strides over those hurdles.
Oh, that's awesome.
He had a world championship gold, a diamond track gold, one other gold, a national gold, and now he has his first Olympic gold, so they call it the Grand Slam. So good for
that's
Grant.
awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then this next one you're about to read was the race of the Olympics.
Cole,
was that the one that
Not,
you showed?
not the one I showed you.
Cole Hawker came back to win the men's 1,500-meter race and set a new Olympic record. Yared Nuguse took bronze in a shocking race.
This race, there was two guys, I believe, a Great Britain and a Norway, who were the favorites to win, talking shit back and forth leading up to it. All eyes were on them. Cole Hawker was like a plus 2,000 to win the race. He was trailing coming around the last 100, and he came back and beat both of them. And then the Nuguse guy also came and earned the bronze medal, which was a complete shock. It was, I'll show you guys after, but 1,500, a little shorter than 4 laps. Yeah. And they finished in an Olympic record. I believe it was less than freaking 4 minutes. So that's a mile in less than 4 minutes. So it was a great race.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Noah Lyles won the bronze medal in his preferred event, the men's 200-meter dash, after winning gold in the 100-meter dash a few days before. He was diagnosed with COVID 2 days before the race and did not race the men's 4x100-meter relay team in the final.
It was immediately after he finished the 200-meter that they were like, yo, you got COVID.
They were waiting for the excuse.
Yeah.
I like Noah Lyles.
Canada won gold in the men's 4x100-meter relay. Mm-hmm. United States were disqualified for a handoff that was out of the designated lane, came in 7th anyways, and have not medaled in the event since 2004.
Yeah.
Jamaica did not even make the final in that event for the first time in 2004. Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean,
the last time the U.S. medaled was the last time Jamaica didn't make it.
But even this year, they didn't medal.
Bro, they showed a clip of all their last 5 Olympics, and it's just missed handoff, running out of the lane. It was terrible. Today they were doing the handoff, and there's certain lanes you have to pass it within, and they just ran out of it. They ran out of room, so they got DQ'd. But they were in 7th at the finish line anyway, so it wouldn't have mattered.
Tara Davis Woodhall won gold in women's long jump by jumping 7.1 meters, which is just over 23 feet.
I could do that in my sleep.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
Jasmine Moore earned bronze in that event and in the triple jump for Team USA. Valerie Ullman won gold in women's discus with a 69.5 meter throw, 76 yards.
Crazy.
That's insane. I don't think I can do that.
Hell no.
She became the first American woman to win back-to-back discus Olympic gold medals.
You don't have to read that. I mean, or you can because it's the hammer throw, but you want me to read this one?
Sure, please.
All right. USA's Annette Echikunwoke
Thank you.
won silver in the women's hammer throw, which I don't even know who the hell invented.
Echikunwoke?
Yeah. I don't know who invented hammer throw, but it's pretty cool.
Hammer time, literally.
And then also, I'd like to take this one in the women's heptathlon. I'm sad to say, but Anna Hall, my sweetheart, beautiful woman, sadly came in 5th in the heptathlon, which is a 7-event thing. She did win the 800-meter race, which was the last thing for it, but she came in 5th, so sad. You want to take the women's 4x1?
Sha'Carri Richardson and Gabby Thomas helped Team USA win gold medal in the women's 4x100 relay today after winning silver back in 2020 in Tokyo.
So Gabby Thomas also won the women's 200-meter gold, and then she also won the 4x1 gold. So
Richardson's second medal and Thomas' second gold medal at these games, as Zach just said. Ray Benjamin upset Norway's Karsten Warholm to win gold in men's 400-meter hurdles. Warholm won gold and Benjamin won silver at the Tokyo Olympics. They have the 2 fastest times in history. That's
Another
nuts.
kind of an upset. Another U.S. get back from the 2020 Olympics.
In the men's 400 meter final, USA's Quincy Hall put on one of the greatest comebacks you will ever see to win gold.
Dude, unbelievable.
He was 5th entering the final 100 meters, and he won by 0.01 seconds.
Where I showed Bobby the clip, he literally looked like he was stumbling.
I watched it.
I looked at Zach and I go, is he going to fall?
Yeah.
Nope, he won.
Yeah.
He just got a medal.
Shocking, though. It was awesome.
The women's 1,500 meter final is tomorrow, and it features UNH alum El Pure St. Pierre.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's awesome.
She was a Vermont native.
In the pole vault, Sweden's Mondo Duplantis broke the world record and won gold. From Louisiana, mothers from Sweden. 24-year-old has not broke his own world record 9 times.
Bro, you saw the video of the guy like hitting his dick going over the pool?
Mm-hmm.
This guy was clearing the freaking thing by like
2 feet.
It was literally like this.
That's the one where we go, well, everyone knows you got a small pecker.
Yeah. Phil, you want to take basketball?
Yeah, sure.
The big hoops guy.
Yeah.
Big game tomorrow.
Yeah, sure is. Against France.
Mm-hmm.
Team USA came back to defeat Nikola Jokic in Serbia 95-91 in an amazing game. What stood out the most? Steph Curry's 36-point performance. LeBron James posting a triple-double with 16, 12, and 10. First player to have multiple triple-doubles at the Olympics. Or Serbia taking the game down to the wire where they led by as many as 17-13 to start the fourth. I remember I was watching the game. There was like a minute left in the third, and they were down. USA was down 15, and I turned it off.
Yeah.
And then I waited 5 minutes, and I go,
Yeah.
Lewis goes to the bathroom, and I go, you know what? I'm going to throw this game on just to see the score. And they're down 84-80, and I was like, holy shit, they're going to come back. Curry, I think, made 10 threes that game.
Yeah. Thank you, Serbia, for a great game and a great tournament. They were deserving of winning. But what's most surprising out of that to me is Steph Curry's 36-point performance because he's been very quiet in this tournament, and then he kind of just popped out.
Something you also didn't say, which is the most, what stood out to me the most, was Jason Tatum not playing. Again, against Serbia. Again.
Unbelievable.
Draymond Green saying on Twitter that you need to toss out the rotations. Like, you need to throw Tatum in, dude.
Steve Kerr also said that it was a math. He mentioned it.
This guy.
It's not about anything Jason is doing or not doing. It's about combinations and the way that group has played together. The way Kevin has filled in since he came back from his injury. It's just a math problem more than anything.
Bro, he is so dumb. He's like, oh, we can't put the best players on the court at the same time because it wouldn't work well together. And then the closing lineup was KD, Steph, and LeBron. Your 3 best players who you've been avoiding playing together this entire tournament. Mm-hmm. It finally did it, and it fucking worked.
All I'm saying is now I know why Michael Jordan punched Steve Kerr. Because he's a fucking dumbass.
Idiot.
Like, I don't know.
They're playing France?
So they play. They now play Victor Wembanyama in France.
Oh, sorry.
Who defeated Germany in the other semifinal matchup in the gold medal game on Saturday. I was about to say something about it, but I don't remember what I was going to say. Anyways, Team USA is looking for their 5th gold medal at the Olympics. 5th straight gold medal at the Olympics. Sorry, I was reading that weird.
Like their 20th or something overall, something like that.
Kevin Durant is now Team USA's all-time leading scorer at the Olympics, men's or women's, with over 500 points scored across the Olympic Games.
Yeah.
Germany plays Serbia in the bronze medal game.
That'll be a good game, too. But a lot of NBA guys.
Yeah.
Hey, don't sleep on France, though. Yabusele.
Bro,
he munched.
Wembanyama. He had 17.
Batum, Gobert. They have Fournier, who somehow now all of a sudden can play basketball. And they also have a guy named Cordier. So they have a Fournier and a Cordier. It's very confusing.
But the thing that's weird to me is that when it came down to the end of the game for France, they didn't play the quote-unquote defensive player of the year. Yeah, because they had to take him out. But who's in there? The one who should have won defensive player of the year in Wemby.
Women's hoops.
Yeah, so in women's basketball, Team USA defeated Australia in the semifinals and will play in the gold medal game on Sunday against the winner of France versus Belgium.
That should be final now. I don't know who they're playing, but
Team USA has now won 60 straight games at the Olympics and will look for their 8th straight gold medal. That's
wagon, as Lewis would say, a wagon.
Yeah.
But as Lewis is pulling up who the U.S. women's basketball team is going to play in the gold medal game on Sunday, I'll just fly through some of these. Both men's and women's U.S. water polo team, they're playing France. So it's USA, France in both basketball matchups. That's pretty cool. France, obviously, with a huge home court advantage. They got 20,000 fans in that arena. As I was saying, men's and women's Team USA water polo teams, both unfortunately eliminated. I really shouldn't say eliminated because they get to play in the bronze medal game, but eliminated from gold contention. In the semifinals, both will compete in bronze medal games. The women's lost in a shootout to Australia 6-5, and the men lost to Serbia. I will say I had the men's game on earlier this morning, and I heard the announcer say a guy for Serbia's name was Nikola Jokic. So they have Nikola Jokic from Serbia, Nikola Jovic from Serbia, and Nikola Jokic from Serbia. I was like tripping. I was like, am I tripping? Volleyball now. USA women's volleyball will get to play in the gold medal match. They defeated Brazil in a 5-set incredible match earlier this week, I believe on Wednesday or Thursday. They will play Italy in the gold medal match also on Sunday. The USA men this morning defeated Italy in straight sets 3-0 for the bronze medal. So good for them. Beach volleyball, though, not the same story. The women's team of Nuss and Cloth eliminated in rounds of 16, and Cheng and Hughes, who was Lewis's kind of team there.
Mine was the Nuss and Cloth.
Yeah, were defeated in the quarterfinals. On the men's side, Chase Buttinger and Miles Evans eliminated in round 16, and the other men's tandem of Partain and Benesh were defeated in the quarterfinals. It's the first time that USA is ever leaving the Olympics without a beach volleyball medal.
Wow.
Ever. So
come on, Chase.
I know.
Hey, the game is going international, man.
Yes. And that's actually what they said. The game is improving globally. The U.S. women's national team, soccer, survived another extra time scare early in the week. They defeated Germany in the semifinals 1-0 thanks to a goal by Sophia Smith. They're taking on Brazil in the gold medal match Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern. They have not won an Olympic gold since 2012. The attacking trio for the U.S., Trinity Rodman, Sophia Smith, and Mallory Swanson, they're calling the Trident. They'll have a bunch of nicknames for them, but combined for 10 of USA's 11 goals this Olympics. On the men's side, France defeated Spain today, 5-3 in the gold medal match.
Spain. Didn't Spain win?
Spain defeated France. Did I say
you just wrote France.
Oh, sorry, I typed it wrong. Spain defeated France in the men's soccer gold medal match, 5-3. Crazy game. Spain up 3-1. France came back to tie at 3-3 with a late penalty, went to Ortiz, extra time I should say, and Spain wins 5-3. Now won the Euros, Women's World Cup, a bunch of freaking tournaments in the world in a row. So Spain on top of the soccer world for sure. In the bronze medal men's game, Morocco, I just thought this was interesting, defeated Egypt 6-0, a walloping for their first ever medal in soccer. Some other very small events here. In sport climbing, USA's Sam Watson won the bronze medal and actually set a world record. So he's not the gold medal winner, but he set a world record because it was in the bronze medal race. So he climbed up the wall in 4.74 seconds. Unbelievable. So he's the world record holder, but only bronze medalist. Unbelievable, right? It's like, isn't that crazy?
Nah, I'd be sick, man. I'd be so fucking sick during the rest of my life.
How was your Olympics? Oh, well, I got a world record. Oh, so you got a gold then? No, I got a bronze.
I was in the bronze.
But
that's crazy.
He is only 20, so hopefully he'll have plenty more medals to win. A couple things in wrestling. For the women's, USA's Amit Elor, I don't know how to pronounce her name, but she's only 20 years old, won gold in the 68-kilogram weight class. 41 straight international wins in wrestling. She is the youngest American to win gold in a wrestling event and only the third woman to do that. USA's Sarah Hildebrandt also won gold in a smaller weight class, 50 kilograms. And then Helen Maroulis won bronze in the 57-kilogram weight class, her third Olympic medal, which is the most in USA's history for a female wrestler. On the men's side, Mijain Lopez of Cuba went out on top. He is 41 years old. He won the gold medal in the 130-kilogram weight division for his 5th straight gold medal and retired immediately after he won. He got down on his knees and said thank you to the crowd, all that. He's the first ever athlete to win 5 straight gold medals in the same event and the only ever wrestler with 5 gold medals. I don't know how much 130 kilograms is in pounds. I'm going to ask. How much is 130 kilograms in pounds?
I was thinking about 180.
286.6 pounds.
Yeah,
So
you
those
were
are some
close.
big fellas.
You were close.
And
You
he's
got the
won
80
5
part.
straight gold medals. So good for Mijain Lopez. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Lewis is for you. Taekwondo. USA's
Yes, sir.
Christina Teachout won gold in the women's 67 kilogram weight class.
Oh yeah.
Diving, however, this is why China is tied with the U.S. in
They
gold
were
medals.
nasty.
You want to talk about a wagon? China has taken gold in all 7 diving events so far. There's only one more tomorrow, which they're expected to win and complete a sweep. They have now won gold in the women's 3-meter springboard in 10 straight Olympics. They have won 54 of the last 71 diving gold medals since '84 and 34 of 39 since hosting in Beijing in
Bro,
08.
they're probably in like fucking boot camp over there in China, man,
Yeah.
about this diving.
They're
and
locked
shit.
in.
They're probably like, yeah.
Bro,
It's
if you
crazy.
watch it, they dive in, no splash.
No, if
No,
you
never.
watch
And they flip
side by side,
Oh, the
it looks like
synchronized?
it literally looks like
It's one, but it's 2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's insane.
Also in the pool, USA took the silver medal in artistic swimming, formerly known as, I forget what it was called. I'll come back to it.
Water
But
dancing.
it was something like that. It's the first time they competed in this event since 2008 and their first medal since 2004. Field hockey, Netherlands competed a sweep. Men's won in a shootout, a first gold medal since 2000. Women defeated China in the gold medal match as well in a shootout. Weightlifting, USA's Olivia Reeves. I know, men's field hockey, kind of weird. Weightlifting, USA's Olivia Reeves won gold in the women's 71 kilogram weight class. It's USA's first gold medal in weightlifting since 2000.
Wow.
USA's Hampton Morris, just 20 years old, he won bronze in the 61 kilogram division. He became the first U.S. men's weightlifter to take home a medal at the Olympics in 4 decades.
That's
Wow.
crazy.
Hell yeah.
You pointed this out before. B-Girl Ami, who is that? She's from Japan, and she is the first athlete to win a gold medal in the Olympics new sport,
I would
breaking.
say first break dancer.
Yeah.
I feel like that's not an act.
First dancer.
I don't want to
Artist?
offend anyone,
What
but
was artistic swimming called before? I just need to know this, sorry. Synchronized swimming. I should have known that.
I should have known that.
Cycling.
Dude. The fuck?
We talked about this
Water
girl.
dancing?
Yeah. We talked about this girl in the last episode.
Yeah, you did.
In cycling, USA's Kristen Faulkner, she won her 2nd gold medal now. She won the road race on Sunday and just won in the team pursuit, which is around the track indoors with Team USA. So 2 gold medals for Kristen Faulkner in cycling. Skateboarding, Australia's Arisa True won gold in the women's skateboarding park event. Youngest Australian to win a gold medal at age 14 and 86 days.
dude, I watched a little bit of that shit. Oh my god. I wish I knew how to even
14?
ride a skateboard, let alone do what she did.
And then to close it out, the 2 boxers who failed gender tests are fighting in the gold medal matches of their respective weight classes. They're not fighting each other. 2 different weight classes, 2 different gold medal matches. Algeria's Imane Khalif and Chinese Taipei's Lin Yuting. A lot of
I
people
wish
are all
they
on
the
them.
best.
Yeah, I wish they the best. Them. I think you could say them.
I don't know, man.
And in surfing, USA's Caroline Marks won gold in the women's surfing event in Tahiti, just 22 years old.
So let's get into some random news that happened throughout the week in sports.
Yep.
Football. Our New England Patriots have cut Juju Smith-Schuster.
See you later.
Played 11 games for the Pats last year. Was having a bad training camp. And may I say, I'm so glad we signed him to the exact same contract we could have gotten Jacoby Myers for.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Stupid.
See you
But
later.
we'll
Hated to have you.
We'll take Jalen
Wish you the
Polk and
worst.
Javon Baker.
Yes.
So.
Despite this, the Patriots are now not trying to further
ready.
explore their trade talks with Brandon Ayuk.
Which is also probably the dumbest
Dumbest
thing
shit.
I've ever heard in my entire life.
The
It's
Browns,
so much money.
yeah, they were offering him over $30 million a year, and he said no because he wants to win. The Browns and Steelers are still in the mix for Ayuk. Falcons placed wide receiver Rondale Moore on IR. He will miss this season with a knee injury. He was acquired from the Arizona Cardinals for Desmond Ridder. He was actually airlifted to the hospital in an air cast, so obviously it had to have been a very disgusting injury.
Yeah.
The Falcons ended up canceling practice after that.
Wow.
Seattle Seahawks star DK Metcalf was in a fight in practice this week, swung his helmet at a teammate and cornerback Trey Brown. New head coach Mike McDonald said that it was great practice and he loves the spirit.
Honestly, fuck yeah, dude. Football's back, baby. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Oh, we're not just done yet with the fights.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Giants and Lions both got into a fight with each other where they were both fined over $200,000 for the fights, where Malik Neighbors kind of started it.
Yeah.
He said that some shit was said to him. He got up and said,
haymaker,
right to his head and started it. I also say I love Devin Singletary for coming in and backing him up. Mm-hmm. That was sick.
I didn't see the video out this end.
Devin Singletary came up and was like, yo, he had Malik Neighbors back. And like it was them two against all the Lions.
That's awesome.
Harrison Butker is now the richest kicker in the NFL. I know you said fuck Harrison Butker, but he's now the richest kicker.
I mean, I never said he wasn't good.
I know. Signed a 4-year, $25.6 million extension with the Chiefs. In college football, the shit that don't matter anymore because he's gone. But
that's why.
But Jim Harbaugh is now has a 4-year sanction for recruiting violations
from the NCAA, even though he's in the NFL.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And Pitbull, the guy, the
Mr.
lovely
305.
singer, Mr. 305, is now bought in FIU's football stadium.
Naming rights.
Oh, the naming rights. My apologies.
It'll be now named Pitbull Stadium.
I don't know what it will. Is it actually?
Sure it's supposed to be named
That's
Pitbull,
unreal.
Pitbull Stadium.
I love that.
Or Pitbull Field, something like that. I saw it.
Awesome.
I saw it on a tweet.
So he bought the rights, $1.2 million a year for the next 5 years.
That's awesome. I love that for him. He does. I read it was like a stipulation. He has to post FIU on his Instagram 12 times a year and like appear at certain events and stuff.
I mean,
it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
One more thing for NFL. The 2024 Hall of Fame class was just inducted. Dwight Freeney, former Colt. He had a ton of sacks in his career. We also have Julius Peppers, former defensive lineman for the Panthers and Bears. Patrick Willis, former 49ers linebacker.
Retired too early, in my opinion, but good for him.
Andre Johnson, wide receiver from the Houston Texans. You want to talk about fights? He had a famous fight with taking the helmets off and stuff. He's the...
Who was it? Cortland Finnegan.
Was it? On the Titans, right?
Yep.
It was the Titans.
Wow.
So I do remember that.
Andre Johnson became the first Texan to be inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Really?
As a Texan, yeah. Wow. They also inducted Devin Hester, who is the first return specialist to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. 14 punt returns, 6 kick returns, and 1 kickoff return. Field goal return touchdown. So 21 total returns in his career, most ever.
You know what's crazy,
including one to open up a Super Bowl.
For the Bears?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think that over the last 5 to 8 years, how much less of a kick returns have been.
Sad.
And this man made his career off kick returns, and now he's in the Hall of Fame because of it.
Good for him.
You probably won't even see anymore.
Yeah. No, I think with the new rule this year, I think it's going to be a lot different.
We'll see. They also inducted Steve McMichael and Randy Gradishar as senior inductees. They played in the 80s. One of them had ALS. I'm sure you guys saw
that was the one that
couldn't make it. But now moving over to baseball real quick, a couple things. The Chicago White Sox have finally ended their 21-game losing streak.
And their coach, they said, you finally won us a game?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out now.
You got the win.
Yeah.
That's it. It's like making a basket before you leave the court.
So on Tuesday, they beat the Oakland Athletics 5-1 for their first win since July 10th. Today is August 9th.
Do you guys know that I'm pretty sure the White Sox, that game, were only a plus 180?
Wow.
Against the A's?
Because it was the Athletics, but the Athletics were favored. 21-game losing streak was tied for the longest losing streak in AL history and 5 shy of the league record, which was 26, which was set in the 1898 season. The Chicago White Sox are now 28-89 this year. And they just fired, as Bobby said, their manager, Pedro Grifol, and they promoted former All-Star and MLB player Grady Sizemore as interim manager.
Who lost the next game against the A's.
Also,
new streak.
They They're 28 and 89 right now, but yet still had an all-star.
Which was
Garrett Crochet.
the pitcher, yeah. Houston Astros, I didn't even know this happened. Pitcher Framber Valdez lost a no-hitter this week with 2 outs in the 9th inning. They were winning 4-0, and 2 outs in the 9th. There was a guy in first because of a walk. Corey Seager comes up to the plate for the Texas Rangers. 107th pitch for Valdez, smacked, home run.
See ya.
They took him out. Valdez, after giving up the home run, made it 4-2. Brought in Hader, got the last out, and they won 4-2. So meaningless home run, and absolutely sucks. He's like I think I read the 4th pitcher in the last 5 years to give up a no hitter in the 9th.
I think that's the second time he's done it too.
No, he hadn't. Well, maybe, but he had a no hitter last year, so it would have been his second no hitter in 2 years. Kyle Schwarber jumped out to me. And I was watching the game of the Philadelphia Phillies, had a big game, monster game on Wednesday night against the LA Dodgers. He hit 3 home runs and drove in 7 RBI in a 9-4 win over the Dodgers. And lastly, in baseball, at the Bristol Motor Speedway in Tennessee, which is a NASCAR racetrack, will be hosting an MLB game in 2025.
You got to put the picture of the field.
Yeah.
With center field being 800 feet.
I know. Between the Atlanta Braves and Cincinnati Reds. Lewis?
Why do the Reds always get to play in these cool-ass fucking games?
Don't know.
Ella De La Cruz. All right, let's move over to basketball. Former college basketball national champion, Kyle Guy, retired from basketball because he's 26 years old. But I mean, I guess he was returning to Virginia to be an athlete development mentor, which is good.
Yeah.
Great cause. He probably wasn't going to go further in the league. So
no, he was playing overseas and stuff.
Was he?
Yeah.
I know he had a stint in the G League for a little bit too.
Yeah.
So. Lauri Markkanen got a bag.
Yeah.
5 years, $238 million extension with the Utah Jazz to keep him. NBA on TNT analyst Charles Barkley is no longer retiring after next season.
Mm-hmm.
That is surprising news. Said he won't retire no matter what happens with the NBA media rights deal. That's wow. Okay.
I hope they just rename that before show. They rename it something else, and they talk about all the sports.
They said they were going to do that, right?
I think so. And just hearing Barkley
and
pronounce all these
Shaq.
people's names, dude, is going to be great.
And Shaq.
I can just hear. I'm just seeing. The clip of Barkley saying Giannis.
That's exactly what I was thinking too.
Anyways, moving on. Ohio State's TBT alumni team, Carmen's Crew, won the tournament and defeated Forever Cougs, Houston's alumni, in the championship game on a game-winning shot by former Celtic and former Buckeye great Jared Sullinger, baby.
Yeah, now playing in China.
Didn't you meet him?
I did. I got his autograph and I gave it to Max because he's his favorite player.
Carmen's Crew actually beat out La Familia, Kentucky, in the semifinals to make it to that, but everyone's excited for next year to see. I actually want to watch it too.
I used
from
to.
The clips. They looked actually.
I used to watch it when Syracuse was in it because they would always have all these guys that I always loved watching when I was little play, and now they just don't. Yeah. Now this year they didn't have a team.
Last time I checked, also Sullinger was playing in China. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's move over to soccer. Man City have agreed to a deal to send Argentinian forward Julian Alvarez to Atletico Madrid for over $100 million.
Crazy.
Chelsea's Conor Gallagher is also headed to Atletico Madrid for $44 million transfer. During the 2024 CrossFit, this is actually kind of
wild.
Yeah. 2024 CrossFit Games were earlier this week in Fort Worth, Texas. A Serbian athlete named Lazar Dukic died during the swimming portion of the competition. He was struggling to swim and disappeared under the water right before the finish line. Some people said that he just went under the water and no one saw him resurface.
And the crazy thing is there was 2 lifeguards on boards standing right there. Literally he was in the middle of them. And he went under, didn't pop back up.
Yeah. They had to call for dive teams, bro.
Dude, scary shit. But they announced he was dead today. Yesterday his body was not found, but he's officially
Jesus.
Crazy. All right, finish this up.
All right, to finish the episode, we have washed up wagers. So here's a recap from last episode. Pat, Lewis, and I are all 2-1, where Zach went 0-3.
Correct.
Pat his wins were Serbia men's basketball, who beat Australia in overtime in the Olympic quarterfinals, and the Australia women's basketball, who defeated Serbia in the Olympic quarterfinals.
So Serbia beat Australia. Australia beat Serbia.
His loss was the Mets, who lost to the Rockies 6-3 on Tuesday. Like I said, I start the month 2-1. My wins were the Yankees. I picked them to play on Tuesday, but that game was moved to Wednesday, where they played at 4, which was the first game of a doubleheader, where the Yankees ended up winning 5-2.
The Cubs they lost that next game.
Yeah, they lost the very next game. The Red Sox also beat the Royals on Tuesday 6-5. My only loss was Australia men's basketball, who lost to Serbia in overtime. I would like to say that they were out 44-20 with a couple minutes left in the second, and they blew it.
Mm-hmm.
Lewis, like I said, also starts 2-1 on the month. His wins were Bam Adebayo over 4.5 boards in the Olympic quarterfinal, where he had 7, and France men's basketball to cover +8 against Canada
They won,
in the Olympics quarterfinals, and they won outright.
I'd also just like to say
82-73.
that USA-Brazil game was 122-87 in 10-minute quarters.
His loss was Nick Castellanos, who did not hit a home run against.
I guess it wasn't that big of a traumatic event.
The stock market crashing wasn't good enough. Zach is 0-3.
Second straight month starting
0-3. His losses were Greece men's basketball, who did not cover +8 against Germany, because they ended up losing 76-63. It's funny because I think I remember looking at you and saying, Zach, I was almost going to pick that.
You did.
This
one was unbelievable.
The overs 92.5 total for USA women's basketball in the Olympic quarterfinals versus Nigeria. They only had 88.
They only won by 14.
I want to read something for you guys real quick, and I promise I'll be real quick. Hold on. No, this is unbelievable. I'm sorry. I just need to read this to you guys. So they scored 88 points. I believe they played on yesterday. Isn't it loading? Women's basketball right here. 88 points. I'm going to give you quarter by quarter. First quarter, 26. Second quarter, 26. Third quarter, 24. So at that rate, they had 76. 76. They needed 17. And they had gotten 26, 26, 24. You know what they got in the fourth? 12. Nigeria outscored them 26-12 in the fourth.
I don't know what it is, but Zach's luck in the fourth quarter when his bets look like loss are such sweats.
And you want to talk about
it's like the Caitlin
Clark, one assist shy, and they dribbled out the clock while they were down 20 in the last possession, and her teammates missed 5 layups. And then my last loss
his last loss was the USA women's national team, who did not defeat Germany in regulation in the Olympics. They won in extra time.
Literally 5 minutes after the fucking...
It was in the 96th minute or something.
So here's our pick. I'll start it off. So here's my picks for this weekend. I have the Ravens, who are playing tonight against the Eagles.
Preseason football. You got a D-gen over here. Wait, you think he's a D-gen? Wait till you hear my slip.
I will have the Ravens to have 1+ rushing touchdown and a -165.
I love that.
I have the Washington Commanders, who are playing tomorrow at noon against the Jets, to have 1 passing touchdown in the game at a -250. And I took the over in the Oakland Athletics Toronto Blue Jays game tomorrow at a -108. It is +333 for the whole thing, $10 for $43.30.
Wow. Lou?
Wait, +333?
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. My math was totally wrong there. My apologies.
Go ahead, boss.
For mine, I have United States women's national team soccer
to win it,
to just flat out win the cup in extra time, in regulation, win the gold. Well, it says to win the cup.
I don't know why,
but to win the gold. I have the who should have been Defensive Player of the Year for the NBA this past year, Wemby, to get over 1.5 blocks in the gold medal match.
At
-154.
Oof, I like that.
And then I have the Minnesota Twins at home against the Guardians on Saturday tomorrow at a -120 money line. All those 3 picks +325, $10 wins at $42.58.
Wow, I love those.
We don't have Pat's picks. So.
We're gonna put in Pat's right now.
Bang.
Okay, that's good enough. I'll close us out. I'm calling this 3-pick parlay
The
Uncle
juicer.
Sam's Redemption. First, I'm 0-3. I need a 3-0 week. Okay, here's how I'm going to do it. I have in the gold medal men's basketball game tomorrow, USA versus France, over 176 points just
Total.
between the two. USA has hit over 176 in all 5 Olympic games so far. So if they don't, you'll know why. Then I have the USA women's volleyball team also playing in the gold medal match. That's on Sunday. I misspoke earlier. That's on Sunday against Italy. I have them plus 1.5 sets. So they can win or lose 3-2. As long as they don't lose 3-0 or 3-1 in sets, I hit that. That's minus 115. The over in the basketball game is minus 112. And then my final pick, the defending 3-time gold medalist USA women's water polo team, who are sadly not playing in the gold medal match. This time they're playing the bronze medal match. I have them minus 0.5, so just basically their money line, against the Netherlands at a minus 120. All that is plus 548, $10 to win plus 548, $10 to win $64.87. Uncle Sam's Redemption.
I like that.
Plus we're in a red, white, and blue shirt.
Wrap us up, Billy.
All right, everybody. Thank you guys for watching episode 30 of the Washington Sports Podcast. We release new episodes on YouTube and Spotify every Tuesday and Friday. Like this video, subscribe to our channel, and follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Our usernames for those can be found in the link below. Thanks for watching, and as always,
Stay washed.